I put lip gloss on just for you guys, and I bathed.
Love it.
Businessman, you the businessman. We're going to talk show on the mic with Mike, with the best business radio program in the game.
Hello from Washington, President JB here. Whenever Jill and I leave in our car, we tune into our guy, Mike King Biz on ESPN Rhythm.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic, Mike King here. This is part of the Mike King Biz Media Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, CW Richmond TV, Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 a.m., as well as International Business Group Radio. What we do is we talk to the game changers. We had started locally, but we've gone across the country. So our good friend Mike is back. Welcome back to the program, sir.
Good morning. Hey, my pleasure. How are you today, man?
I'm good. So you are a get by yourself. That it's a big deal when you show up, but you didn't roll solo today.
No, absolutely not.
All right. So really quickly, tell people who you are and what you do, and then we're going to introduce your partners.
Yes, sir. Hey, if you don't already know, I'm the leader of the Hounds Pack community that started on LinkedIn. So it's really a network of entrepreneurs who really push each other up, and we do a lot of business, man. The Pack means business is our motto. And personally, I am the Redneck financial coach, right? Helping businesses and families reach that level and get on the path to financial independence. And I built the network and all the things we're going to talk about because otherwise I wouldn't be in business. So there you go.
So really quickly before we get started, you found the business clarity after a while. What was the when you had the aha moment? So we can give to our listeners.
Well, when it worked, right? I'm a practical guy, right? I mean, what else would you expect? But I laugh because I remember the Chris Rock joke. He said, "Hey, Zuckerberg made Facebook so he can make some friends." Man, that was me. I was just convinced that if people really got to know, like, and trust me, Mike, that if they really understood who I was and I was able to use my life experiences, whether that's growing a network, building on LinkedIn, social media, whatever, if I can use all of that life experience to help other people do better, they would want to stick around. They would trust me. When they had a need for what I can produce in my business, they would come to me. And it wasn't overnight. It took a while. But as I got more comfortable being myself, letting myself out there, sorting people, attracting, repelling people, what you're looking at today and the ladies, the awesome ladies here and the network and all these great things is just a result of that. So it was just me saying, forget sales and marketing. My kindergarten skills, my reciprocity, and my heart is going to be the foundation of my business. Boy, talk about a rate of return. It worked.
Because you had talked about being nice, the power of being nice. Okay, so how did these ladies come into your world?
All right, now they're going to be blush central. So, hey, I just tell it like it is, man.
Let's get it like it is. Come on, man.
Hey, you know me. I know no other way, Mike. That's why we get along. So it's funny. So I was COVID hit. We couldn't go out and play, right? So we all went to social media. I was about 40 years old, never liked social media. So long story short, I just did what I knew to do, which was pitch slap with a P, right? Spam people, send messages, aggravate folks about money. Nobody wanted to hear it. So I did that for about a year and a half. So I went on a show, had a buddy of mine, and I was getting comfortable trying to go on, Zoom calls and live streams and put myself out there, right? That's what all the big names and motivational speakers, put yourself out there, have courage. Well, it was disastrous. That was bad. It was bad. So I honestly got bullied about 14 months ago, last March, or 15 months ago. And I was devastated. It was a nasty, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Putting myself out there, being vulnerable, and just getting beat up by some guy with an attitude. I didn't do nothing to warrant that. So that's how I met Sia, right? That's who's here today. That's how I met her. I mean, she was in my crew as I was trying to build this network of people and friends. But I knew that she was an expert in digital marketing. I knew that podcast and live streams was her jam, her business. She was big business. She's been in corporate, right? She's on her own now. But I knew that she could be the answer to that. So before I left and just gave up on LinkedIn, before I gave up on myself, I went to her. And I would like to say, Mike, that she put me under her wing. But honestly, I just ran under her wing, and she would, out of pity, she just closed it on me and kept me. So she put me on her show. She made me look good. And the rest is history, man. I just kept, leveling up, compound effect. And that just led to all the trails that you see here over the last 14 months. So
Sia, he came to you and he never left. What was it about him that attracted you to his his being and what he was talking about?
Well, first off, you could just hear it in his voice, his personality, right? His
Yes.
energy, his openness to learn. And and he's coachable. I think that's a real critical component about entrepreneurship in general is we might have had our previous lives where we were the master of it all, but in entrepreneurship, I think we're all newbies all over again in so many different ways. And it doesn't matter if you're a career entrepreneur either, by the way. You're always learning, right? Always be learning, always be curious. Mike is always be kindergartening. And I just love that because it's so true with kindergarten skills in general. We're on the playground. They teach us to be nice. They teach us to be kind. They teach us to be reciprocal in our giving of each other. And that's Mike. But the ultimate truth, that was my nice answer. Do you want a real truth, Mike?
Yes, I do.
What's that?
How can you resist the pathetic face of this guy coming with a hat on? He's sitting in his outhouse in this backyard. And you're just like, okay, my Kentucky, he's my new Kentuckian little brother. So that's really ultimately what happened.
Between that, the name and the hat, he had me at hello. He had me.
Hey, so basically, I was like the puppies on TV, the sad puppies on TV. That was me to see her. She just felt like, hey, I got to give this guy 69 cents a day to help him. Hey, you know what? You know what? That I want everybody out here who is on the cusp or taking that first baby step. Well, I don't have the confidence. No, me neither. You have the courage. That's what it starts with. You either have the courage to do it and to look stupid, and then you decide whether you have the courage and take the next step to do it again. That's it. It's not rocket science. There's no secrets, Mike. There's just stuff we don't know yet. I promise you. There's not mysteries out here. Put yourself out there. That's my call.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On the Mic, Mike King here. I got the rock stars with me. So see, I always say to folks, this is a business show. So this is the elevator pitch. Tell folks who you are and what you do.
I am the guru of I'm kidding. I hate that word. I don't like that word. Just saying. No, I am literally the Tasmanian devil of digital marketing strategy for businesses. I really enjoy helping the ideation for businesses to take their business into social media where it's relevant for the audience.
Let's go with the branding aspect, the Tasmanian devil. Let's a lot of times we need names to stand out. We need something to grab you. How did you fall upon that one? I've
been called the Tasmanian devil. It's kind of like nicknames, Mike. You don't give it to yourself. It's what people call you over the years, and somehow it sticks. And I just decided to roll with the Tasmanian devil. It's kind of like that flurry of ideas. They're wonderful, but if you can't execute on it, then what are they? So I am the Tasmanian devil of whipping up ideas, but I also execute with my team on with which you see right here, two of the major core team members.
What's the number one, mistake that you see people making right now from the social media aspect for businesses?
They're talking to themselves. They're not talking to their audience.
Oh, like the DJ playing the music for himself. The dance floor empty, and he's just having a ball.
Exactly. And I get it. I think especially if you're on a solopreneur or small business side of it, there's a lot of personality that you can inject into your social media. So yeah, to some degree, have your personality in there, but don't be talking into the mirror to yourself. Unless you want to sell to yourself, then go for it. Right. But no, talk to the audience that cares about the value you bring to them. And it can be done humorously. And I'm a big advocate. If you can tell, I'm all about fun and personality and sharing who you are, and all ships rise with the tide. Support all your friends.
There you go. Alrighty, Michael, let's go with Raquel. How did she come into your world?
Oh, wow, man. Like winning a lottery ticket. You just walk down the street and saw a winning Powerball. But here's the thing. I got to look, she blushes every time. She made me mad in the first 5 minutes of meeting her. So she had a bad day. All right. And I tell this because it is a hell of a life principle that's overlooked, man. So I met her, and I don't remember what it was. She had a bad day or something, right? We all do. But here's the thing. You got to look past that. You got to look past people's just being human and having bad days, and you got to look deeper, right? So there's something in there. I don't know how to describe it, but there was something that I knew that deep down she was going to do something special. She had a good heart, right? She had all of it. She just didn't realize it. And I knew that, Mike, because I was the same way just a few years before that, right? So I think it's our experience and what we have done that should give us grace and patience with others. So I put her in our little group as we were formulating and building our community and, grabbing other entrepreneurs and business owners. Things started moving. It was probably about 3 months into this. She just popped out of nowhere like a chicken got ready to hatch, right? It just popped out. You're like, wow, I didn't even see the egg over there. And here comes this chicken pop out this egg. And she was ready to rock. And so that's where the three of us coordinated. I was like the big gymnastics coach at the Olympics, right? I'm not flipping and winning gold medals, but I can sure as heck teach her how to, right? So I got with Sia. I said, she is special. She's doing stuff. She's finding her way. She's beating me in numbers. She's taking my teachings on LinkedIn and social and killing me, which is great advertising, right? So I said, we got to put her on her live stream. Sia said, absolutely, right? All boats rise. Boy, she came out the gate. She's been on there about 6 months, and she is phenomenal. And so here's what I want to say. You can't fake it. Be good, do good. Here, I knew that good people reciprocate. Like I don't do it to get something back or keep score, but I knew that this woman would pay it back. And now what does she do? She uses her megaphone platform, hundreds and thousands of people watching her every week. And guess who she talks about? Us, right? Because we put her there, we helped her there, and now she's helping me 10 million times more than I ever helped her. Man, I'm telling you, it's redneck Camelot to the T. We're doing big business, but we don't want to sacrifice the friendships and the human nature of business. We're bringing that back. I'm tired of it, sick and tired of it.
All righty, Raquel.
Oh my goodness.
But
How do you
know
follow
what?
up?
I'm like, okay, I can leave now. It's like he didn't drop. That's a drop the mic moment. All right,
There you go.
There you go. All right, so tell us who you are and what you do.
My goodness, how do you follow up with that introduction? Thank you so much. But yes, my name is Raquel Flores. I will make you roll that R. Raquel. Say that. Everybody has to roll that R.
Yes.
I always like to joke around with that. But yes, it's just one of those things that I'm on the platform. I came in and took it by storm because I just love being different and authentic and injecting that tenacity and resilience. So sharing my story about, pardon me, my daughter. Okay, baby, give me a second. Sorry about that. Give me a second, okay? Okay, baby, go ahead. Okay.
You know what? That's the best part of it now. It's just like
There you go, baby.
we have lives. Everyone has lives. And we also talk about how you incorporate lives into it. A lady I know, she says, women wear a lot of hats. She said, my husband is a fine gentleman. He can't wear too many hats. I've been married 43 years. I got a hat or two. My wife said, you guys are switching hats and making magic. So we definitely understand what you're doing.
Yes. So, but that's the beauty of being organic and authentic, right? You live in those moments, right? You bring them in and you show people, you're transparent about exactly what your struggles are. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to bring onto the platform. So when I met Mike and I joined the Hounds, which was the most elemental, instrumental thing that I've ever done in my life, to be honest with you, without them, without him, and without Sia, I wouldn't be where I am today and actually have the opportunity that not many Latinas like myself have, which is to have a voice, which is to have that courage to actually do something about it, leave a legacy and empower others as long as you're journeying as well. So thank you for that and for the grace. Not many individuals have that, but that's what speaks to the volumes of who your community is, going back to who you're surrounding yourself with and how you actually rise together. So, Sia always coins that. And I just think it's fantastic because it does really define and in the community that we're in. So it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to share our stories, just because if we don't start sharing and storytelling, then, we're never going to be visible. We're never going to be able to empower others through it.
Raquel, when did you know you had found your tribe when you got to the Hounds?
My goodness. So this is one of the words that I told Mike. I said, I'm a ride or die type of chick. Okay. I don't know if he understood it at the point. I didn't think he believed me, but there came a point when I said, this is just who I am. I'm just loyal. I'm, if you're here, if you're you're extending your arm and telling me, hey, we're here. So at that point, it was literally like 15 months ago when I said, all right, this is my community. I found my posse. I found my troop, my crew, and together we're going to ride. We're going to ride, we're going to stay together and really cement our footsteps and take LinkedIn by storm and take social media by storm to tell people and show people that there are ways, unconventional ways that we can actually create something that is magical and build, our empire on top of that.
Hey, Sia, let's talk about the power of partnerships. So you guys have created something. You're not in the same place. You don't have the same background. But I always say there's power in numbers. Explain the power and the magic of what you guys have created.
So thanks for asking, because Leadership 101, one of the critical components for team building is to find a team that fills in gaps with each other. So leverage to everyone's strengths and take advantage of those opportunities such that when you're building that team, you have a superpower team. I affectionately call it our inner lights. If you combine our inner lights here into one big brilliant beam, you get that super, Care Bear power stare, massive opportunity to kick some serious booty whatever it might be. Whatever, if it's to dig a hole, then you guys are gonna dig an amazing hole. But yeah, cater to everyone's strengths.
All right, Michael, you are like the Pied Piper of good business out there. It's that energy. People talk about you're talking about being nice, what you learned in kindergarten resonated here in my community. People had understood that. They may not have thought about it, but it made sense to them. Talk about what you created, and when you looked up and you said, wow, this is something right here.
Yeah, it should have took me a lot. I should have recognized it sooner. I put my head down. I work. I don't really worry about accolades and vanity metrics and things like this. I'm driven by really two things: taking care of my family, and number two, making a legacy. Just doing what I can, because I've struggled a lot. Negative tapes. Just struggled with all of the doubts and thinking I'm not good enough, and that's my main thing. That's what I like to do. That's what I'm about. So I didn't realize it until, I would say, tens and 20 and 30s and hundreds of people started saying, you should do more of this. You should do this. And quite honestly, when I attracted these people like Sia, when you're on the right track when you're attracting these kind of people. And then what happens when you do that? Right? It's like the boy band effect, right? All you got to do is have a boy band. You got a couple people screaming. Now everybody's screaming. So when you got like Raquel and Sia and all these people out there saying, hey, you got to join the Hounds changed my life. The Hounds, Mike Hounds. Daggone, dude, you would think I paid them millions of dollars to do that. So I think the proof is in the pudding. For me, it was just pulling my head out of the sand and taking a look. I'm just the type of guy that works all the time. And people said, hey, dude, did you look back to what you did 6 months ago? And I didn't, and it wasn't me. And a little side note, here's the power of team. Because most of this was my creation, Redneck Camelot, putting the community together, emphasizing relationships, getting big business done, man. We're doing big money. It's not kumbaya. But here's what's most amazing to me. I'm just now realizing, Mike, that I made a little spark in a dry brush. And now I pull my head out of the sand. I'm seeing forest fires like 20 miles away, dude. There are so many movements happening, great things, collaborations that I trace back to me. And I had no idea that I started that. And these folks picked it up and ran with it. So it's the compound effect of awesomeness, man. And so for me, it was just pulling my head out of the sand and having these people say, hey, you keep saying you can't do it, but you already did it. Do more of it. Wow, man, it's encouraging.
There you go. We got the crew here on the mic with Mike. It's what we do here. We talk to the best and the brightest.
Yeah, Mike King is a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show. On the mic with Mike, with the best business radio program in the game.
Alrighty, we're talking to Sia. Raquel, Mike is here with us. We are talking business, and it's not the traditional thing. This is relationship 101 right here. When you start pulling people in from across the country, a lot of times we thought that the magic had to happen with everyone being in the same room. You guys have created a dynasty and pulling people from all over. Let's talk about how you do that and where people, okay, so Sia, where can people find you after you answer that question?
You can find all of us actually on brilliantbeammedia.com. And of course, LinkedIn, SYYA. If you just type in my first name, the odds are high you're going to find me. And if you add Tasmanian to that mix, you will absolutely find me. So I'm pretty easy.
Alrighty, let's talk branding really quickly. What is something that you see on LinkedIn that people are doing wrong?
Pitch slapping. This is LinkedIn is about relationships. Okay. I understand initially people thought LinkedIn was like a job board posting discreetly looking for your next career place. That's all gone. That's way old, out of past. It's put it to pasture. It is now a social media platform for business to actually get to know, like, and trust people. So take advantage of that opportunity, but do not pitch, do not sell anything in the first conversation. It's kind of like walking in a bar and, a girl or a guy walks up to each other and they're like, hey, I can sell you dentistry for 45% the cost. You want to hang out? Like, who does that?
That is true. But kind of like in the past, maybe we've learned, we've done that. I can't speak for other folks, but I have been there, done some of that. And we've learned how to pitch better, to talk and build on the relationship aspect. So Raquel, when you're out there, how do you foster relationship online where a lot of times we were around the water cooler, we met someone somewhere? How do you do it across LinkedIn and a digital atmosphere?
And thank you for bringing that up, because I think that's one of the misconceptions that individuals have, right? That, like Sia mentioned, LinkedIn is just a platform for looking for jobs or hiring people, which is not the truth. There's so much opportunity in there for creators like myself, and just being authentic, being your real self, and actually showing your personality, that in itself will bring so much visibility, and you can start developing those relationships and connections. You can start fostering more meaningful connections in that sense. But people are so afraid to put themselves out there so many, most of the time. And it's true. I understand it, but we teach you all the tools to be able to help you do that. The pitch slapping, yes, that's what people know how to do. That's what they've been taught, but we are here changing the game. We're doing unconventional in a conventional ways that actually have been very successful. So we are going to stick with the formula. We focus on the person and the human first. If the money comes later, right? But at the end of the day, the core value that we focus on is having that connection built with that professional, because that's where the golden pie is, in my opinion.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On the Mic, Mike King here. The name of the program is On the Mic with Mike. My real name is Michael, along with this guy who's sitting here with me. I don't want to say that Michaels are the smartest guys in the world, but we do pretty well. So 90% of people who listen to ESPN are men. Almost 70% of the people who follow and engage with me are women. I've been married for 43 years. Mike's sitting here with two women who are dynamite rock stars. Alrighty, Mike. Let's talk about you being there with the ladies. What is it about them that you rock with them the same way that I'm hearing everybody says, boy, Mike King, you were always with a bunch of women.
Hey, ain't it a great thing? It's a rare thing. I brag about it too. Hey, hats off. Because I think 92% of my network is women now. And I honestly just think that we're attracting men. So we joke about it a little bit, and it does, the numbers are what they are. But I think it's more of a heart attitude than a gender issue. But I think it was easier for me because, let's face it, it's 2023. We should have a lot more equality and opportunities, but we don't. And in some regards, in my opinion, it's still 1823 kind of stuff. So I think that it was easy for me to relate. I grew up with women my whole life. I didn't have a guy friend until I was 12, right? Everything in my house, including my dogs and daughters and women. So it's just kind of natural. But I think it's just the openness where it's about the mission to me, man. It's about the results. It's about life-changing. It's honesty. And I think it's just, a lot of folks who are coming out of transition or divorce and things like that. It's just, it's kind of a PB&J situation, right? Where we kind of get into a stereotype of things. And it was just an easy way for me to be there. I was like, hey, I understand, what you're going through. I don't judge people. And I think it was just easy. They related to me. And then here's the fun part. I started getting guys like that, like military and, fighters, and who are also very vulnerable, nice, no machismo, none of that He-Man stuff going on there. And I think that's really what happened. I said, that's why we're getting more men in our crew, because we're just a nice people. We don't care about all that. But yeah, it is fun, because if I ever get an ego and my head gets big, Mike, you know how many women are going to be texting me, knock it off. Like, dude, I can't make a mistake. I don't worry about me making mistakes. I got all these ladies who they'll tell me when I'm making a mistake. You know what I mean, don't you?
I get carried. My wife is like, all right, don't get carried away, Mr. Little Radio Man. Don't bring it in here. Because it can sort of feel pretty good. All right, ladies, let's talk about women in the social media. aspect, what it's like. Raquel, you had already talked about Latinas in business. Let's talk about something, right? I guess for how it is for you ladies, and some words of wisdom for that person who's sitting out there right now thinking, I don't know if there's a place for me.
Well, for me, more than anything, that my experience being here is, if I don't put myself out there, then who gonna know? Ain't nobody gonna know. So I had the courage to, and like I said, I'm not taking you to church when I say those things, because I'm from the H, so I will break it down to people like that, in the sense of, if you don't put out there, if you don't put yourself out there to actually tell people in the world what your gift and talents are, then nobody's gonna find out. Nobody's gonna want to do business with you. Nobody's gonna want to see, okay, what is she doing that is different? So do not be afraid to be bold. Do not be afraid to dare to be different. Dare to be different. And I know it sounds very cliche, but at the end of the day, in its essence, it's the purity of that defines us, the authenticity, right? So if I tell people, yes, find what you love, find your passion, what speaks to your heart at the end of the day, what feeds your soul. That is why I left the corporate world, because it was not feeding my soul at the end of the night. And I told myself, I need to do something different. I have a desire. I have two little girls, so beautiful little girls who are looking at my every move. I have every desire to leave a legacy for them, to let them know, yes, as Latinas, we have a voice, and we will continue having a voice. And as leaders, if you're a leader in your community, but you just feel like you're not seen, make sure you start putting yourself out there. If you don't know how to, well, you have a panel here of individuals who will help you get to that point. But in social media, I believe one of the main things that we're doing, and I include Sia in this, is we're developing unconventional ways to put women out there and redefining the definition of what a businesswoman is, because business comes in so many different industries and realms and shows up in different creativity ways. So, or in creative ways. So yes, redefine it, put yourself out there and be visible.
See a person is somewhere right now they have an idea. They don't know how to make the dream come true. Walk a person down the road of how they need to make it happen.
Well, number one of all things in life, and it's not just social media, it's just life, is you really got to know who you are, right? You've got to find your center and figure out, why are you doing anything? Find your why. And I know it sounds cliched, but ask yourself, why do I want to do this? Why am I doing X activity? Why am I doing social media? Why am I on LinkedIn? Why am I not losing weight? Whatever it might be. And when you answer it, keep asking yourself why. And I usually tell my clients, and it sounds silly, I get it, you guys roll with me, but every time you answer that question, keep saying why like a 5-year-old, right? Like incessantly asking why. But eventually you're going to get to the core root of things. And I usually tell people, if you start crying or you get in your feels in some capacity, that's when you found your why. Why is not, oh, I want to be, if I'm starting a podcast, I get 1 million listeners. That's not a why. That's a what? That's a KPI. That's a destiny, right? Your why is, I'm in bed. I don't feel good. I'm going to roll my what up and out, and I'm going to record, or I'm going to reach out and find people to get on my show, or etc. So number one, know who you are before you do anything in life. And then after that, take small baby steps. Maybe you just hit like on people's comments and do what I affectionately call, enjoy the platform for what it is and learn from other people. Enjoy that you're learning personalities of other people where you're not even obligated to reciprocate or respond back at that moment. Baby steps. Maybe occasionally, ha and laugh by literally saying, ha, I am laughing. And then before you know it, you start to get more comfortable in your comments to people. And then before you know it, you're having a full-blown conversation, and those people start noticing who you are, and that's how relationships begin.
Are you shocked? Are you shocked when you finally meet up with people and it's like you've never met them outside of the virtual world, and then all of a sudden it turns into wow?
I think I'm a different personality. I'm the philosophy of, if I see you in person, Mike, I feel like I've already known you. I will run up and give you a big old hug. So I might be a different personality type for that. So no, I've never met a stranger that I haven't known for 40 years. But I will say there is an incredible joy to see someone in 3 dimension. There is one component in our 5 senses I haven't mentioned before, which is when you're talking to someone, you are making eye contact, you are hearing their voices, but you're not really touching them or smelling them. You know what I mean? And I know it sounds really wonky, guys, but there's something to be said about just being in each other's presence in 3D. And I mean, I'm not saying this in a sexual content, but pheromones. you really can smell each other and really enjoy that extra sensory, I don't know, it's not deprivation, the opposite of it, but it comes into
Mhm.
your system.
All righty, so ladies, how can people find you out there?
Like I said, check out brilliantbeammedia.com. And if you go on LinkedIn, type in SYYA, the odds are high it's me. And if you don't see it right away, add, either digital marketing or Tasmanian, literally Tasmanian devil. It will be me. It'll pop up.
So, see, let me ask you, when did you know that the social media thing, you had something there? When you knew, okay, there's something here for me.
So I left corporate America in 2017, launched a business with a partner in 2018, and all around podcasting. And when we really got into our business in earnestness, we had 3 studios, we were raring to go, and then the pandemic happened. So ain't no one going to no podcast studio, but we were still creating a lot of content virtually. And then after that, our clients were like, hey, can you promote our stuff? And that's when I realized, okay, there's another gap we need to fill. And then come this beginning of this year, literally, we looked at Mike, Raquel, we looked at each other and we're like, we've got something here. Let's make some magic happen. Let's shine our brilliant light together. So, Matt, dude, social media, let me tell you something. Digital content creation, digital marketing, social media engagement, all that ain't rocket science. We're not inventing anything like, life-changing technology, bending, etc. But what we are offering is convenience. We are offering value. We are offering an opportunity for you to be you, and we'll help you get there. That's why we have value. And that's why people have been tuning in and engaging with us to help make that happen.
Okay, Raquel, you get a lot of opportunity to speak on a lot of podcasts. How do you know which ones to turn down?
My goodness, at this point it is getting busier now, and I'm not gonna lie, since it's been about 7 months launching my own live stream, thanks to these guys. But how do you choose? I'm so of a giving heart that I just want to be able to talk to everyone, want to get the word out, and because it's reciprocal, it's vice versa. Their audience gets to see me, my audience gets to see them, and learn. But I haven't yet. I haven't yet done that, and that's the beauty of the journey itself, right? Because you want to help, but at the end of the day, once you start building that momentum, that you're not going to be able to help everyone or go onto everyone's podcast. So, yeah, we're writing that story right now still.
Because when you guys show up on somebody's podcast in the media business, we call that a get. It just ain't, hey, just. It's not like you just call up, hey, and they show up. When they show up, people are coming with them. So it's not like, I showed up and, my 8 people came. No. So you guys, you bring a name and a brand so that when you show up, so I would think that everybody wants you guys to come on, and you have to sort of be discerning sometime about where you go and what you put your brand alongside. See ya?
Can I add to that? Okay, so here's the deal, Mike, and this is where I say this for my clients and for my own personal philosophy. Any guests are great. If you can get someone that's ginormous, that's a huge get, that's great. But don't expect that get to cross promote for you or on your behalf, right? And the other thing to be a real good guest, and I say this to everyone and anyone that's listening, please, please, please. I get it. If you got a book you want to sell, or if you got a product or service that you want to sell, I get it. But understand, it's not about you. I know you're the guest. It's about the audience listening to you. What value are you bringing to the host, the show? And what value are you bringing the audience to listen to your, voice, right? So yes, there are times if our schedule just doesn't align and you can't get on other people's shows. But to me, it's always an opportunity to really make the host shine. Like you, Mike, you're doing a really good job interviewing. In fact, I'm actually going to tell Mike and Raquel, take some notes, my friend. Like, this is good. But it's also, hey, audience, like, is this something that you even want to hear? Is this something you want to care about? Right? Like you say, your audience is technically or mostly male. You know what? There's a lot of men out there that have incredible stories to tell. it may not be necessarily what my cup of tea is. Like, I couldn't tell you the stats of any MLB player, but heck knows, I'm sure a lot of guys do. And there's a lot of value to that crew that want to listen to it. So if you're going to be a guest, provide value. And, yeah, sometimes schedules don't work out, but I personally think no show is too small for you to share your time and story and wisdom with, so the audience can further enjoy what this host has to offer. So that's my 2 cents.
And that's more than 2 cents, trust me. That's the kind of money you can't hear. That's quiet money. That's that Johnny Manziel, that kind of money. All right, Michael, when you're getting ready to go on and you see all the people out there waiting and the live streams and the folks are there, and then you roll out with 2 partners like this. I mean, what's it feel like? I roll solo, man. I see the value in what you're doing, man. I gotta start upping my game. I'm out there riding solo. It's dangerous riding solo on air, but talk about the magic that you created with these ladies.
It's like having the world's best safety net, man. I'm telling you, like it is, they're there to support and back up, but they also, I need a keeper, right? And so when I'm making mistakes, they don't hide it. They don't sweep it under the rug. When I can improve, I need to improve. Like I went through a really hard time maybe about a month ago, and I didn't even watch my own show because I knew it was really getting bad, right? Because my attitude and things started dropping. And so finally I mentioned it, and then they were like, yeah, we're glad you saw that. Here's what you need to do. So here's my thing. Surrounded by all this pretty intelligence, man, makes me look good. But here's my fun truth. I outsource my weaknesses now. That's the benefit of having all these people in the network community and close friendships and business. People asked me the other day, they said, "What's your weaknesses?" I said, I don't know. I outsource that stuff. What the hell are you talking about? Like, I don't even know. I don't have any, I guess, because now Raquel and Sia and the other superstars have that, right? So I think that's no journey should be. You're crazy if you think you could do anything. No man or woman's an island, Mike. And I think that's what we got to kind of understand. And go out there and find your people. I'm not trying. There's 900 million people on LinkedIn. I am not trying to get even half of them. If I got 0.01%, that would set me up for 5 lifetimes, man. So I think when people kind of, doo-doo on you and they're not helping you in social media, you got trolls everywhere. I think you keep the blinders on. You focus on their winners like this. Because honestly, I went through a lot of pain. I went through a lot of awful meetings, 2 years of god awful. I don't think most people could do it. Meeting after meeting, trying to figure out who I was, how to communicate, how to make this happen. And so here's what I promise your audience. When you go through months and years of this kind of pain, and you're thinking, I can't go on another day, I can't do this, I got to get a job, or I got to give up on my dreams. Let me tell you something. When you hit to this point, whatever level, the first little level of success, Mike, you won't remember the pain. You don't think I sit around and think about that? Oh no, I've got these women here. I've got a community of people who are growing ever. So, hey, don't let the temporary put the blinders on like a carriage horse, and you just keep trucking forward. Don't care about it. And by the way, use the almighty block button. Oh, it's there for a reason. I wish I had one in person.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. You got it, man. Use it. Hey, you do you. That's my whole mantra.
It's funny that the power of saying to somebody who was arguing with me that this is my show, I'm like, boom. It felt kind of good. You know what? I just blew you up. You don't agree? I don't care. I am not arguing with you. See you later. So you're saying the block button can be your friend?
Oh man, this is my best friend. Here's what I do, because they made me nice. Hanging around these women has rounded my edges, man. I'm not so jagged anymore. But so like it's real easy to kick somebody off and go, wow, there must be internet problems. Like if they're that bad, because you know me, man, I'm hugging babies and signing Applebee's napkins. I love everybody. So you really got to be a piece of work for me to be like, I can't do you on my show, right? You're the same way. So I think it's just having the support system and people who will help you, encourage you, and put you back on track when you're doing things you shouldn't be doing. And this is the real, and we don't hide our vulnerabilities. That's another thing in business. You don't tell people that you have depression issue or that you're struggling through something. I'm telling you that it has made our community way more stronger. And I dare somebody try to steal my clients. because I will get up at 2 a.m. and change their car tire. Not everybody's. Don't get excited out there and on the radio, but you know what I mean. But that's, hey, get your core people, man. Go above and beyond. You know, again, good people reciprocate. So be careful, right? Test people, make sure they're worth your time. But man, when you identify somebody like these two here, you can't go wrong. There's no, you can't overinvest in people like this, Mike. You know that.
You can't, it doesn't get any better. It has been an honor, folks. We'd like to thank you for coming on the program. Raquel, how can people find you out there?
I live in LinkedIn land, Mike. So people can just, go to search and find Raquel Raqui, which is Raqi. I am the only Raqui out there. It's so far that I see. It's not like CSC is like the only one. So Raquel Flores, and I'm there. I live there. And yeah, anything that can help. Thank you so much.
There you go. Sia, how can people find you?
Again, Brilliant Beam Media. You can find all three of us actually, and SYYA on LinkedIn. You can't miss out.
There you go. And Mike, as we say, so Rocky is the only one. Sia, if you put in Mike, if you scream Mike in a room with 100 people, half of them are going to stand up. So we got to be a little different. Yeah, we got to be different. You got it. I'm telling you, man, it is a pleasure. It's an honor. As I always say, folks, make sure you support them. I always say, make sure you support our sponsors and advertisers, because this microphone ain't free and my grandkids need stuff.
My name is Isabella, and you're listening to My King Bib. Hubby, that's my scam.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my granddaughter, Isabella. We got to run. All right, these folks, they got stuff to do. They're changing the world. They ain't got time to sit here with me all day. All right, folks, thanks a lot. Take care now. See you.
Hey, thank you.